Hi there, I'm Jeannie Henderson, and I'm so glad you're here to join me for my 2025 Made Summit Talk, One Brave Conversation Away. I'm going to be sharing my secrets for one of the great strategies that I've used to build my team and grow my business over the last nearly 10 years. And I just opened a second location, so now I am the CEO of Jeannie Cleaning in Kalamazoo and in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Check us out online. I'm also a master coach with Cleaning Business Fundamentals. So I'm super excited to be your coach today. Let's dive in. First, I'm going to share a short video that I created just for you to help explain why brave conversations are so important. Today is the day. It's been on your mind for a while, but this is the day you get up, grab your supplies, and begin cleaning for someone else. And you're good at it, really good. They love you. They tell their friends, who tell their friends. And just like that, you've got a business. Today is the day. Saying no is hard. So you say yes again. One more house, one more client, one more promise. But this is more than you can clean alone. Now you need help. But hiring is terrifying. How do you train? How do you trust? But now you are two, a team. And just like that, you've gone from cleaner to coworker to boss. Today is the day. Things are getting messy. Your first complaint. Ouch, that hurts. It was so much easier when you did it all yourself. Why doesn't she just clean the way you showed her to? Should you fire her? But if you do, who's going to clean all these houses? Today is the day. Something has to change. She has to get better or go. But where do you start? What if she gets mad? What if she quits? What if she starts her own business? You've been avoiding this too long. Today is the day for one brave conversation. Wow, I really remember feeling just like that in the beginning of my business. I was afraid to give feedback to my team members when they weren't meeting my expectations, but I was also afraid not to. Do you feel uncomfortable giving feedback to others? If you said yes, I want you to think about this. Is there an uncomfortable conversation that you are putting off right now? Did a team member's face pop into your mind, knowing that you need to do something about this? Being uncomfortable giving feedback is super common in the home services industry and in leadership in general. As a matter of fact, 2 out of every 3 managers are very uncomfortable with giving feedback to their team. So you are not alone. And we're going to talk about this more today about how when we give feedback, it changes the direction of our business. Going back to the beginning, there was a point when I knew I had to do something and that something definitely had to change. I want to talk with you about Natalie. This was the moment when I knew that when I hired Natalie, that something else had to happen in my business besides what was going on prior to that. I hired Natalie after interviewing her at a Panera. I was super impressed with her because she showed up, she smiled, she was breathing, and I was desperate for a new employee. And even though she told me during the interview that she was having some personal problems in her life, that things were kind of going rough in her family, I think she even shed a little tear during the interview. My heart went out to her and I needed to get back to work, and she was hired on the spot. I hired her. Well, she showed up for that interview, but unfortunately, fast forward a month or so into the future, Natalie had a hard time showing up for work. As a matter of fact, it was such a problem that I would put on a uniform shirt every single day because I would have to go out in the field and cover for Natalie if she didn't come into work. It was happening so much, but I was so busy, I wasn't keeping track. I really wasn't, I knew it was a problem, but I felt kind of held hostage. Natalie did a great job cleaning. Her clients loved her. As a matter of fact, they were disappointed when I showed up to cover for her, but what could I do? And our team loved her. Everybody got along really well, but her personal problems were becoming my personal problems, and I wasn't dealing with it. Well, a few more months down the road, actually almost a year into the future, and I got a phone call, and Natalie had been injured on the job in a client's home. As a matter of fact, her injury was so bad, she was going to have major surgery. So as I was filling out that workers' comp claim, they asked me to report how many days she had worked for us. And this was a defining moment. I realized that Natalie had missed 50 days of work in about a year. That's over 2 months that she had missed, unplanned. And that was a lot of lost revenue. I figured about $10,000 in lost revenue at that time. But I couldn't believe that after, all my life in the, business world, that I had allowed something like this to happen. And I knew that something had to change. And I knew that something that had to change was me and my level of leadership. We can never assume that people just know what we need or what we want in our business or really anything in life. We have to communicate what we need and what we expect. And the good news is that we can change this because you and I are 100% responsible for ensuring that the people around us are 100% clear on what we want. People can't read our minds, and if we're not saying anything to them, then they think it's okay. Truly, even if they kind of know it's wrong, they're still going to keep doing it if we don't do something about it. The quality of your relationships and the quality and growth of your business are determined by the quality of the conversations that you are having. So today, I'm going to share with you my Brave Conversation framework. And we're going to walk through this together. And by the end of this presentation today, you're going to have a step-by-step model to help you have effective, brave conversations in your workplace. But before we go there, I want to share with you a little bit about where I came from before the cleaning industry. Jeannie Cleaning has been around for almost 10 years now, but prior to that, my husband Terry and I were in the restaurant industry. We started out as Little Caesars franchisees. I was just 21 years old when I became an entrepreneur. And we, over 30-year career, opened over 30 restaurants spanning 7 different franchise brands. And in those brands, we were very successful. As a matter of fact, we were the top Little Caesars franchisee in the country several years running. And we were the top in Qdoba Mexican Grill and Big Apple Bagels. And we even went on to own a smash burger franchise. We had a wine bar. We had all kinds of restaurants. We love the restaurant industry, but it's a big job, and we decided to retire out of that in 2015, and that's when we bought a little cleaning business, Jeannie Cleaning. But I like to think about our restaurant career as not just building 30 brick and mortar restaurants, which we did, 30 plus, but we also built 30 teams. We really knew how to build teams, and we really felt that if we took good care of our teams, that they would take great care of our customers and our businesses would grow. And that's exactly what we experienced. But unfortunately, when I got in the cleaning business, I struggled because it's so different. In the restaurant industry, each restaurant has about maybe 15 to 30, depending on the size of the restaurant, team members. And so if someone doesn't show up for a shift, you just call another team member, and there's always somebody who wants more hours. Somebody's always trying to get some overtime. And so we really didn't have to worry about missed shifts. We never were short-staffed. But in the cleaning industry, you fill your team member's schedule every day. You don't have extra staff. So when somebody doesn't show up, it causes chaos. And I discovered that very quickly. And also managing these teams was very, very different. So I had to go from, just cleaning in the field, which was my solution to attendance problems at the time. I would go out and clean. This is me cleaning blinds in a 5,000 square foot house that had blinds in every window. And I did all those blinds. That was probably one of the days that Natalie didn't show up. But I had to go from making going out and cleaning being a solution to really working on my team building skills again. The difference in the cleaning industry is that our team members are out there alone. We're very dependent on each individual team member to show up every day in a different way. I'm happy to say that because of discovering this, that leadership was my problem and that I really needed to work on that, my team has now grown and we're, working in 2 separate cities and hoping to add more locations soon. And this has all been the result of developing a new system that I now call Culture Magic. We created a recipe that we use in our business to help us build a great team culture. And it actually is a system. It has 5 secret ingredients. And I'm going to share all those ingredients with you today, but we're going to take a deep dive into the first one, and that is mentorship. That starts with you, the leader in your business. Leaders building leaders. That's what mentorship is. And I had really dropped the ball in this area. So we're going to dive into how I changed that through brave conversations. But let's talk about the rest of the ingredients real quickly before we dive in. The second ingredient is acceptance. Our team members need to feel like they belong to something bigger than themselves. They need to be known by everyone on the team, and especially they want to be known by you, their leader. The next ingredient is growth. People need to feel like they're growing. As a matter of fact, a large portion of the people we employ today are millennials. And research shows that millennials have to feel like they're growing or they have opportunities for growth in your business, or they'll quit. And I'm sure you've experienced that before. The fourth ingredient is impact. This is where we get to the heart of what our team members care about and help them understand how their work impacts the lives of others. It really changes things in our business. And finally, we wrap up our recipe with clarity. Clarity is where you take your culture and you turn it into a system that operates even when you aren't there. Imagine that. A positive culture that doesn't require your involvement every single day. And that's what Culture Magic has done for me. But let's go back and let's start talking about that first ingredient, mentorship. Mentorship is where leaders are growing other leaders. We talk a lot in Cleaning Business Fundamentals about lifting as you climb. And that's what mentorship is. If we aren't helping people learn and grow and be stronger, better at what they do, we're really dropping the ball. And that's what I did with Natalie. I completely dropped the ball. I wasn't mentoring her. I learned the hard way. You don't have to. I want to talk about the difference between being a manager and a leader. A lot of times we think of ourselves as managers, and we teach our team members to be managers. The responsibility of a manager is controlling a group of people to accomplish a specific goal. It's control. Well, in the cleaning business, I found that trying to control my business that way was a little bit like herding squirrels. I could not control them the way that I wanted to just by setting policies and say, you should do this. Leadership, on the other hand, is the ability of an individual to inspire, to influence, and enable other team members to make contributions to the success of the company. I'm sure you've heard of Napoleon Bonaparte, who had, a huge role in the French Revolution. And he said this, he said, "A soldier will fight long and hard for a bit of colored ribbon." This is what leadership does. Soldiers are led by officers, generals, and captains, and those officers are inspiring them and enabling them to do what they need to do to win a battle. And all the soldier gets at the end of that battle to recognize their effort is a little piece of ribbon. But they will fight long and hard for that. You think of those generals with those placards with all the ribbons on it. Each one of those ribbons represents a battle where they may have risked their lives, where some people may have died. So inspiration and influence separate people from people who are just managers to people who are true leaders. It's not about control and power. It's about inspiring people to want to take the action you want them to take. So why all of this avoidance when we know we need to have these conversations, but we keep avoiding them? Because it's uncomfortable. It causes us discomfort. We're afraid that we're going to hurt somebody's feelings. We're afraid of the drama that we think it's going to cause, and we're afraid of retribution. We're worried that people are going to, like I talked about in the video, they're going to, steal our customers and go start their own business if we don't go, let them do whatever they want in our business. But we have to be better leaders. And it's hurting us too. Every single leader out there in the business world, on average, spends about 2.8 hours or about 3 hours a week avoiding an uncomfortable conversation. Think about that. Do you catch yourself doing that too? And they're doing this to avoid what could be a 5-minute conversation. This adds up. We're, complaining, we ruminate on these conversations, we do something else to take our mind off of it, we get angry and, grumble about it. For me, I wouldn't sleep. I would dream about it and have nightmares about it in my sleep. But we're wasting so much time, about 150 hours a year. That's 6 days of your life every year that you waste worrying about conversations. Everything you want, though, is on the other side of that conversation. Everything you want is on the other side of fear. But as human beings, we are wired to be afraid of something that might hurt us. And we always focus on the negative first. All the bad stuff that's going to happen if we take this positive action, instead of focusing on the positive things. When we were a tribal species and we saw the grass wiggling, we'd think there might be a tiger hiding in the grass. But today in business, there are no tigers. We cannot let fear lead us. Our behavior sets the tone of the workplace and the example for your team. We have to lead by example. Have you ever had one of those uncomfortable conversations? What did you feel like after? Did you feel relief? Did the other people on your team feel relief too? Was there an improvement in your workplace? Did you have more brain space? When you have these conversations, it equals growth for you and growth for everyone involved. And I'm telling you this, and this is what I found, this can hold back your growth. Not having these brave conversations that you should be having could be the bottleneck that's holding you back. If you've hit a plateau, having a great conversation with a team member and helping them grow could help you grow. I read this quote and I want to leave this with you today. If people in business told the truth, 80 to 90% of their problems would disappear. Think about that. If you would tell the truth to your team and help them grow, help them change, 80 to 90% of your problems might disappear. When you avoid having these tough conversations, you have to really think about what's on the other side. Focus, though, on the positive, on those things that I was just talking about. What's the good thing that will happen? So the one that you're putting off right now that we talked about in the beginning, I want you to visualize that person. What's the positive thing on the other side of that conversation? There is something more positive on the other side of it than the thing that you're afraid of. When you avoid tough conversations, you are hurting people. And if you're in the cleaning business, I know you love people, you care about people. You wouldn't be here if you didn't. You can't own a cleaning business without caring about people. But when you avoid tough conversations, you're hurting them. First, you're hurting your team. Everyone on your team knows you need to have that conversation, but they aren't going to tell you to do it. You're hurting your clients. If it's a quality issue, if it's a timing issue, if it's an attitude issue, it could be impacting your clients. And this one's a big one. You're hurting the person you're not having the brave conversation with. They can't grow if you aren't there to help them. And that's your job as the leader. And finally, you are hurting yourself. Think how much better your life will be on the other side of that uncomfortable conversation that you need to have. I love a quote that I heard not too long ago for the first time, but it's by someone that I'm a huge fan of, Herb Kelleher. He is the former CEO of Southwest Airlines. He's since passed, but he made a huge impact in the teaching leadership. And one of the things that he talked about was that you could have a brave conversation, an uncomfortable conversation with someone, and it didn't have to be a negative thing. It could be treating people, like friends and making work fun, even though you're having to have, some difficult conversations and do some discipline. He said this, he said, a company is stronger if it is bound by love rather than fear. And this is so true. If you are living in fear, you're taking away your own quality of life, but the quality of life of other people. Herb was so good at this, discipline with love, that Southwest Airlines has had over 46 years of consecutive profitability to show for it. Not many companies can say that. This is a huge deal in your business, and you need to take advantage of it now. When you talk with your team members, you're not attacking the person. You're attacking the behavior that you want to change. So several years later, after Natalie, I hired another great person, and her name is Shelly. Shelly came to us at her interview. She was smiling. She showed up. She was breathing, and she really loved to clean. And I was busy, and my business was growing, and I hired her on the spot. Well, when Shelly started working with us, she was great at cleaning. She loved it. The team members loved her. Her clients loved her, but she was so painfully slow. So painfully slow. And nobody wanted to work with her. They loved her as a person, but it was hard to get a first time clean done with her. And the scheduler was being driven crazy by the fact that she could probably only clean 1 to 1.5 houses a day by herself because she was so slow. I knew I needed to do something. I had to have a conversation with Shelly. So I did. I brought her in and I let her know that I appreciate her, all the good things about her, but that I was going to have an uncomfortable conversation with her today because she was too slow. And I want to help her find a way to success. So together we created a plan. We talked about, where she wanted to be in the future with our company. And then I talked about how we were going to get her there. And I gave her 2 weeks to get faster. I realized that part of the problem was she needed more training. So I set up some job shadowing with one of our great trainers, gave her a little more training, set some expectations about how long she should be cleaning in houses, gave her some tools to help her move faster, and gave her 2 weeks to improve, or I would have to let her go. I checked in with her periodically through that 2 weeks and followed up at the end. And by 2 weeks, she was up to speed with the rest of the team. She stayed with us for over 3 years, became a leader on our team. She generated over $200,000 in revenue during that 3 years with our company. If I had not had that one brave conversation, I would have missed that opportunity to work with Shelly. And she went on to pursue a career in healthcare, which is something she had always wanted to do. So she got to go live the life of her dreams, and she made an impact in our business while she was with us. And she's still a friend because I had a brave conversation. So how many brave conversations are you willing to have? Your business growth will only grow to the level of your leadership. It is limited by the number of brave conversations you're having. The brave conversations you're not having can be holding you back in a big way. You may have heard the myth about the goldfish in the bowl. This relates to brave conversations. So they say that goldfish will only grow to the size of their bowl or their tank. This is not true. It's actually a myth. Goldfish growth is limited by the quality of the environment, of the water that it's living in. It's breathing that water, and it's dependent on it for oxygen. But if that water quality goes down because they're eating in that water and they're doing their business in that water, they aren't going to grow and they may die. Imagine that water is the environment in your business. And if your environment is starting to become toxic because you're not having the brave conversations you need to have, your business won't be able to grow. Don't be like a goldfish in dirty water. You can clean up that positive environment in your business with just a few brave conversations. You completely can, and I've seen it happen. So I'm going to share with you my brave conversation framework. You can click on this QR code to download this document to use, but I'm also going to walk you through it. This QR code is going to be on the next several slides, so don't panic if you don't get it. But when you're starting to approach a brave conversation, I want you to plan ahead. So that's why I'm providing a document for you. And I want you to think about your emotions going into this, because your emotions, when you walk into that conversation and your approach, will 100% determine the outcome of the conversation. It's not the other person's mood, it's your mood that sets the tone. People will mirror your behavior. If you smile, they'll smile. If you're nervous, they will be nervous. If you're scared, they will be scared. So you have to come into it with confidence and compassion for that other person. You can do these conversations with love, like Herb Kelleher did, right? So I'm going to give you the 6 steps that I use in my brave conversation framework. The first thing is, and this was a game changer for me because I used to always focus on the negative. What are all the bad things that are going to happen? She's going to get mad. She's going to storm off. She's going to go tell everybody else, right? Instead, I focus on the positive outcome. What do I want for them? And with Shelly, I wanted her to be a leader on our team. I told her I could see her leadership skills, and she did become a team lead on our team and head our ambassador council. So talking about the positive outcome. Number 2, you want to talk about your shared purpose. How is it going to benefit both of you if this change is made? And then number 3, you want to own your responsibility. Like I did with Shelly, I didn't provide enough training for her. What opportunity did you miss to help this employee prior to this conversation? If you have some responsibility, own it. Your vulnerability will help the conversation move forward. And then ask them for their perspective, listen and acknowledge it with patience. We tend to not listen very well as humans. We're always thinking about what we're going to say next, and we don't really fully hear what the person is saying. So really take time to listen. I like to use the acronym LAST, L-A-S-T. Listen more, ask more, say less, tell less. The more we do that, the more it will change the world. Imagine if everybody did that, how much better the world would be. And then you want to paraphrase or repeat back what they said to confirm that you fully understand. I believe it was Mary Kay who said that people just want to be seen, heard, and understood. And this is so true. This is what your team members need. They need to be seen and heard and understood. And then together, agree on the desired outcome and the actions necessary. And like I did with Shelly, make it time-bound, set a date that you're going to follow up. And if it means that you might have to fire them, then maybe they'll end up in a place where there's a better job for them. Maybe this isn't the right job for them, and that's okay. I've seen this many times where people have left because this job wasn't the right one. And I actually just saw someone this week who worked for me just over a year ago, and I had to fire her. She just couldn't do the job. I gave her we had several brave conversations. It didn't work out. And now she's in a job she loves. And she said being with us helped her have the courage to take that next step. And she would never have gotten that job without the training that we had given her. So it's okay if sometimes you have to say goodbye to someone. So today is the day. I want you to think about that person you need to have that brave conversation with and commit. Say it right now or write it down. I commit to having that brave conversation with, say their name, and set a date. By this date, I will have that conversation. It could change your life, their life, and definitely the growth of your team. Most people don't lack a work ethic. They lack a leader. A lot of times I hear people say, oh, nobody wants to work, blah, blah, blah. Well, if that's the case, how have I been able to build such a great company in 2 locations? The work of us, or us as leaders today, is to make change. And the most significant change that we can make is to help people grow. It's not your bottom line. That comes with it naturally. Being committed to the long-term development and growth of your people so that they can adapt and change and prosper, this is what will change your future. Now, I talk to a lot of cleaning business owners. As a matter of fact, I've personally coached dozens of cleaning business owners and spoken to hundreds of cleaning business owners. And the one word that often comes up when I say, what do you want from your business? And they want personal freedom, whether it's time freedom, financial freedom, or impact freedom. People are looking for freedom. That's why we become entrepreneurs. But then often, as I did, we find out that it ends up, being just the opposite of that my business takes over my life because I'm not doing the things I need to do. No one in this presentation today started their business to be stressed out and cleaning in the field for the rest of their lives. We all yearn for a better life. I want to show you what that looks like. This is a picture of me and my family. We went to a tropical island together last year, and I have been able to take my family on several vacations and fully pay for everyone to go with us. And what a blessing that is. And I've been on these vacations for more than a week, and my team doesn't call me once. It's relaxing. It's time away. I get to recharge and reset. And then I come back fully ready to work hard again in my business. And it's such a joy and a blessing. And we've built so many great memories together. And, you can have this too. This is a friend of mine. I'm in a cohort at CBF called the CBF Elite. And it's business owners who are in businesses of 1.5 million or more. And so this is my elite cohort. And this is John and his family. They're riding around in his Jeep with the top off, having a great time. He has lots of kids, I think 6. And he has all kinds of time to be their dad and focus on his kids while they're little and growing up and having fun together. Now, those pretty toes that you see peeking over that laptop, those are my friend Teresa's toes. And I love this picture because Teresa can work from anywhere in the world. She can still run her business, but remotely. She has location freedom. Isn't that wonderful? This is my friend Libby DeLucienne, and she travels all over the place too with her family. This is her family, I believe, in New Orleans. And she has shared that, her business is centered on her family. All of her family, her kids and her mom, her cousins work in her business. And her business is all about family. And she has the time to spend with them whenever she wants to. This is my friend Joanne. She travels the world. I love to live vicariously through her. And here she is in Alaska. Look at those smiles. There's so much joy in that she can choose to be wherever she wants, whenever she wants, and then focus on her business when she wants. And finally, my friend Lynn, spending time with her godson. And the cool thing is, Lynn had the freedom to do that. And kids are only little for so long. You want to have the freedom to go when they're little and be with them. And that's exactly what running your business with brave conversations will do for you. It creates the freedom that you're looking for. I love this quote from one of my mentors, Darren Hardy. He said, "Culture is how a company runs when you are not there." Think about that. How is the culture in your company? If you were gone for a week, 2 weeks, 4 weeks, what would your culture be like when it came back? Culture Magic, my 5-ingredient system, can help you build a system in your business that your culture will stay positive even when you're not there every single day. So I'm also going to give you this tool, my Culture Magic Assessment. It's part of the free ebook that will tell you all about the how to have brave conversations. So you can download the ebook here. This is the same link that I've been showing you, and it will contain the document for the brave conversations and this assessment. When you take this assessment, it will give you a score in each of the 5 ingredients. It asks you questions around 50 data points. And when you calculate your score, you're going to know exactly what to work on next. When I talk to cleaning business owners, they often say, "Jeannie, I don't know where to start." Well, this assessment will help you with that. Which ingredient do you need to focus on? Take the assessment, and now you'll know. Culture Magic works. Culture Magic is what took me from a struggling business with a few technicians, rampant, attendance issues, lots of chaos, to today, where I have a thriving, growing team, not a lot of chaos. And I truly believe that the main reason that this has happened is because of my Culture Magic system. And I really want that for you. Are you ready to have a bigger and easier business? That's what happens. When your business gets bigger and you implement Culture Magic in your business, it gets easier to run. Usually bigger and easier don't go together. People keep thinking, well, I don't want a big business because if it's anything like what I'm going through now, I don't want 10 times that. But I've experienced the exact opposite. As a matter of fact, I don't even have an office in my business office. I don't have a desk. As a matter of fact, I probably cause more of a mess when I show up there than when I'm not there. My business is running smoothly without me on a day-to-day basis because of the 5 magical ingredients in Culture Magic. So I want you to consider, beyond learning how to have brave conversations, I want you to consider taking the Culture Magic course, which is something that I recently created and have been teaching for the last couple of years. I will teach you about each one of these ingredients. Today, I gave you just one of over 30 documents and tools inside of the Culture Magic system. But when you sign up to be part of Culture Magic, you'll get all of these documents and tools. Plus, you'll get worksheets for every session. There are 5 sessions, one on each ingredient, plus a bonus session number 6 that teaches you all about how to discover your core values and integrate them into your business. I believe core values are foundational to your culture, and it's something that is like a living, breathing part of your business. And I'm passionate about that, so I will help you discover your core values inside the Culture Magic program. So since I had this opportunity to be with you today, I also wanted to give you the opportunity to consider getting Culture Magic for your business now. So I'm just going to give you a quick offer before we go today. You can be part of Culture Magic, the 5 Culture Magic sessions, and get the 30 downloadable documents, editable tools, and forms. This program, it retails for $1,998, but you get a lot more with it than that. You get those 30 downloadable tools, plus you get that bonus session number 6. You also get, I am throwing in another bonus for everyone here today, a seminar that I recorded on hiring your first employees. It's so hard to go from having 1, 2, 3, or 4 employees to having 5, 10, 12, or like I do today, over 35 people on my team. It's hard to make those transitions, but I want to help you get started. And so I'm throwing that in. And then also you'll get ongoing access to all of these recordings. As long as they're online, you'll still have access to them through our portal that you can access anywhere in the world on any device. So this program has lots of bonuses, and so the value of it is almost $3,000 with all the bonuses that I'm including today. But I have a special Made Summit scholarship just for you of $1,996. So you'll get all this for only $997. And I wanted to share this with you because I don't want you to miss this opportunity to learn more than just having brave conversations, but also how to create a system of culture magic in your business. Imagine if you could do simple things like get out of the field. I know a lot of people, that's not so simple. They have a struggle getting out of the field, and I did until I was able to fix my culture. And so would it be worth it if you could get out of the field if you're still cleaning in the field? Would it be worth it if it reduced the chaos and the drama in your business? What if it increased employee loyalty? You didn't have to hire and train as many people because people stayed longer. Not only would that save you heartache and time, it saves you thousands of dollars. And what if it grew your revenue? You know, one client will bring in about $5,000 to your business, but one employee can bring in anywhere from $75,000 to $125,000 to your business in a year, depending on where you're located. If you could just keep one more employee, would it be worth it to be part of my Culture Magic course? And what if it increased your impact in the world? I know that you care about people and you care about impact. So imagine how much more you will accomplish on the other side of that one brave conversation that you're going to have. So make sure to get my free ebook. And if you're interested in being part of my Culture Magic course, there is a QR code in the ebook where you can get more information. I'm so glad that you were here with me today to learn more about having brave conversations in your business. I hope that you have found this helpful, and I would love to hear about it when you do have that brave conversation. So do connect with me on LinkedIn, on Facebook, wherever you hang out on social, because I would love to hear from you about how having one brave conversation changed your life and could change your business. Thank you so much for being with me today, and I hope you enjoy the rest of Made Summit 2025.